we got lights. We got lights. We weren't sure what he was gonna do, but well, our exit's in a mile. Unfortunately, this guy wants to stop now. Yeah, you just have to get off the freeway. I don't want to test the patience. I don't know if you guys know this on the freeway. You don't pull off on the shoulder. You find the first exit, pull over where it's safe for you and the officer, which in this case will be right here. Turn off the car, he said.
I want air conditioning.
He's mad.
For what?
I don't know. What's he waiting for?
Hello.
Hello, hey. How you doing?
Good, I'm Sergeant Gonzalez, Anaheim Police.
Nice to meet you.
The reason why I'm stopping you, did you notice I was behind you?
Yeah?
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Okay. I noticed that you were obviously going faster than 65.
You're
and then you
kidding
made
me.
an unsafe lane change.
You're kidding me, right?
I'm not. Do you have your license and registration, please?
Yeah. So the whole time I was being passed by the, I don't know, like 20 other cars around us.
Can you speak up? I can't hear you.
I said, so, well, we were being passed.
A Lamborghini, highway speed, cameras rolling, and within seconds, lights. Watch this closely because this stop turns into a perfect example of how reasonable suspicion actually works in real life. The officer says speeding and unsafe lane change, but listen to how he builds that case. That's critical. Why this matters. Detention needs reasons, not vibes. So, does he actually have them, or is this just a fishing trip?
That whole time by the 20 other cars around us. That wasn't a concern to you, hey?
Can I have your license and registration?
That's kind of what I thought.
I noticed the license plates. They don't seem like California, or is there a nearby? Where are they from?
So, how is it?
I'll go over there so I can talk to you, man. All right.
How is it in an unsafe lane change?
Okay, so here's the thing. You obviously caught my attention because
I drive a Lamborghini.
You're like, no, not necessarily, because look, I'm a sergeant, and I don't normally pull traffic stops, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, I noticed, when I looked at my speedometer, I was pacing you, you were like over 80 miles per hour. And the other thing is you're revving your engine, like exhaust loudly.
What? No, this is how the car drives.
So much that when I was on the phone, the officer was like, what is that I was talking to? The other thing is, when you made a change, when you're in the #1 lane and you made that left lane change, the vehicle that was behind you had to stop on its brakes.
Well, that happens sometimes.
Well, that's what I'm explaining, the violation.
That's not a violation. Braking because someone's lane changing and signaling is not illegal.
The vehicle behind you had to apply its brakes.
No, how do you know? How do you know he wasn't speeding? If you're saying I was speeding, then he must have been going even faster.
Speeding. That was an unsafe lane change. So where is this license from?
Right out the gate, the sergeant claims speeding and an unsafe lane change, but notice the driver immediately pushes back with context. Other cars flying past. That's a red flag, because the officer doesn't address those vehicles at all. Instead, he pivots straight to ID. That looks like control over clarity. Why this matters? A request isn't an order. And here's the question. Does he actually articulate enough to justify the stop?
It's from British Columbia, Canada.
How long have you been in the state of California for?
4 days.
Vacation?
Yeah.
Cool. Is the license valid in Canada?
It is.
Is this registration? This is your insurance?
Insurance is the small one. Registration is the big one.
You know what the speed limit is on the freeway?
Yeah, it's 65.
Okay. And how fast do you think you were going?
65.
Okay. All right, wait in the car, okay?
Yeah.
Unsafe lane change my.
Not sure what he's doing, but he's on his phone. He had to find his ticket book. He said he's a sergeant, so he said he doesn't typically do traffic stops. So we're just hanging out, waiting. Currently in the car, no air conditioning. Kind of warm. It's nice, actually.
Here's the holdup. My dispatcher's saying that your license is suspended.
But it's not suspended. I've had something that was on my license from years ago.
Now, listen carefully. The officer starts talking about engine revving and drawing attention. That's where things get shaky. Revving alone isn't illegal, and even he admits he's not a car expert. That's a credibility gap. It feels like he's stacking reasons after the fact because the initial ones aren't landing clean. Why this matters? Officers need objective facts, not guesses. So, are we hearing solid observations or just building a narrative?
Was it 2019?
Yeah, long time ago. And that it's been cleared up, and it pops up once in a while, but it's all cleared up.
Do you have any documentation indicating same? Because right now our records show that your license is suspended.
What would it be suspended for?
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out.
Like something in your guys' system is like super archaic, and it just shows up. Just
Well,
like
I think it's the different countries that's the problem.
Yeah.
Did you have a California ID before?
No.
Okay.
I've never lived here. I've always been a tourist. I had a ticket.
It says also, that's what I'm trying to confirm. It says that you have a California, or no, a non-issued driver's license or something like that. So you never had an ID in California?
No.
It seems to me like this was almost planned.
What was?
This whole like encounter between me and you. Is that accurate?
Do we know each other?
No, but just the way like, it just seems almost like you're trying to bait me into like some social media thing. And I'm smarter than that. I'm just saying like the cameras right away, just the way you're revving your engine, driving, just very unusual. Again, I'm a sergeant and I don't normally pull people over on the freeway, but the way you're driving, I actually thought you couldn't see me or something because I came up very close to you to try to look at your plate and read it.
Okay.
And I couldn't get it because I couldn't recognize it, obviously because it's from...
Quick recap. Under the Fourth Amendment, the officer's motive doesn't matter. It's about whether objective facts support a violation. And here's the key. Speeding plus unsafe lane change can justify a stop, even if the Lamborghini caught his eye first. That's the law in street terms. But here's my issue. He never clearly explains how he confirmed speed. Why this matters? Details make or break reasonable suspicion. So, does that gap matter?
Canada.
Okay.
So this seems like it's all like planned by you. Is that accurate?
No, I mean, I don't plan getting pulled over ever.
Right. Did you see me behind you?
Yeah, I saw you.
And you thought I should rev my engine loudly and kind of be almost like driving a sports manner?
Well, I'm driving a sports car, so it sounds like a sports car.
No, I understand that, but it just seemed like, to me, I'm telling you.
Are you a car guy? A car guy.
I don't know enough about cars to even say, yeah, I know very minimal. Not enough to tell you what this even was when I saw it.
So it sounds accurate that you don't know enough about this car to know whether or not I was revving it.
Well, it sounded to me that you were, yeah, it doesn't take like even a lower, I guess, torque or a horsepower car, you can tell if someone's revving the engine. Like a Honda Civic, which would be a 4-cylinder, I can tell.
Well, this is a V.
Increases in noise, so that's why I was asking. So let me figure out your license thing, and then we'll go from there, okay?
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah.
So this car has it has a V12 engine. It's not a 4-cylinder, so
No,
it's
I know.
going to be louder.
Here's the pivot. Dispatch flags the license as suspended. That's serious. But watch the officer's response. He doesn't jump to arrest. He pauses, asks questions, and verifies. That's actually restraint, and it matters. My take? That's good policing, because uncertainty isn't probable cause. Why this matters? Bad info can wreck innocent drivers fast. So, does he escalate, or does he correct the mistake?
Like, as an example, I understand this has a lot of horsepower, a lot of torque. My example to you was, in my Honda Civic that I used to own that had a 4-cylinder, I can tell when a car is revving or not.
Right.
Just like you can tell if a V12, V8, or V10, right? Maybe not a Lucid or a Tesla. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not an expert in that either. But
did your Honda Civic have paddle shifters? Does your Honda Civic?
I'm not going to get into that.
Does your Honda Civic rev match? Do you know what that is? So there's an OEM feature that basically makes sure that when you downshift, it's going to align the RPMs with the engine speed.
Before you go like into great detail,
Well, I'm explaining the revving
I know.
because you're concerned about it.
I'm telling you when you ask me. So I don't know what your intent was. I know that I have traffic violations that I witnessed. You're obviously not from this area, so I have the ability to give you a warning. I keep in consideration that you're not from the area, but again, and you're here visiting and stuff. To me, it seemed like this was like, I don't know, maybe it wasn't, but maybe you guys are just ready. But I'm gonna tell you this. Your driving and what happened was enough for me to pull.
Outcome? No ticket, just a warning. License confirmed valid. The stop ends calmly. Now here's the balanced view. The officer articulated violations, even if not perfectly, and verified before acting. That's important. But the driver also talked a lot. Not ideal. My advice? Provide documents, then stop talking. Why this matters? Silence protects you. If this were you, would you file a complaint or move on? Like, subscribe, and check the original creator. This video provides transformative commentary and legal analysis of publicly available police audit footage for education, critique, and accountability under fair use. 17 U.S.C. Section 107.
You over as I'm on my way to speak to my supervisor about something else. Okay? Now, based on the totality of the circumstances, I'm going to give you a strong verbal warning today, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I did explain the reasons why I stopped you. I'd ask that you keep in mind in traffic, maybe being more cautious when making a lane change. That's part of my warning. And the speed limit is 65. And when I'm behind you and I look at my speedometer and it says more than 65, now I'm not saying I paced you for a great distance or anything like that, but that's an indicator that you're speeding. Does that make sense?
I appreciate you giving me a warning.
All right, hold on a second.
Thanks a lot.
Forever.
Yeah, no worries. Okay.
You may consider if there's any documentation that you can get from Canada, because my dispatcher was reporting that it looks suspended, but I'm not sure.
So what info would he say it looks suspended? Like you're saying it looks suspended.
They were doing like some system called, I think she said Elite, which I've never even heard of. To be honest with you, I'm not a traffic guy.
Yeah.
She goes, so I asked her to confirm, and she goes, yeah, it looks to be that way, and she was trying to do further follow-up and couldn't confirm that.
So we tried it as British Columbia.
There you go.
There you go.
In my group, we tried it as British Columbia, and we got the return.
Does that say valid? They're doing further digging.
Status shows normal and valid.
Normal and valid.
Name and DOB. It's showing a class 5 or 6, and I'm Googling to see if I can figure out what a class 5
Motorcycle.
is. Otherwise, it does say.
Motorcycle 5 and 6.
Okay, no further need. That confirms he has a valid ID.
A different country, some officers have a hard time finding that it's valid.
Well, that's why I asked dispatch. That's what they do for.
That's their job, right?
Right. Well, they have an expertise, right? So, yeah, definitely reached out to them because, again, I couldn't even recognize your plate.
Well, you were super cool, man. I didn't set this up. Like if I was setting this up, I would have done something to really get your attention. I felt I was driving quite normally. I had people still passing me going even faster, and I honestly lane changed. I signaled, I shoulder checked because this does have a blind spot.
Final takeaway. This wasn't a viral meltdown. It's more subtle than that. The stop likely holds up legally, but it still shows how quickly normal driving turns into police scrutiny. My opinion? This is where knowledge beats emotion, because both sides stayed controlled, and that changed everything. Why this matters? Calm wins encounters. Now I'm curious, would you have stayed silent or argued your case like he did?
And when I came into that lane, that guy was going way faster than I was going if he had to brake.
He did brake. And again, I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to try to cite you. And that's where I was like, okay, when he looked at me, to To be honest, he was like, "You gonna do anything about it?" And I'm like, "Oh."
You're like, okay, this guy allegedly is doing, let's say, over the speed limit. Now this guy's obviously doing even faster than him if he had to brake.
Well, because you're coming out, like, right? So I think what happened is that it's kind of a moot point because I'm not.
It's a moot point. You gave me a verbal
Let me ask
warning.
you about this.
Yes?
What do you think of Lucid Motors? Have you heard of them?
Oh yeah, electric cars.
I test drove one.
And what are your thoughts?
It's way out of my price range, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was nice. It's fast.
You should get a Lamborghini.
I can't. That's out of my price range too. Of course, I'm not going to go too fast, but I got on it.
You got on it.
bit.
You got on it. My man. Well, it was good to meet you.
Yeah.
You're super cool.
Do you have any questions for me?
I don't.
All right, man. Just keep the things that we talked about. Enjoy your vacation.
Yes, sir.
See you later.